Uncovering Ancient Secrets, 100,000-year-old burials redefine human history. Imagine unearthing a 100,000-year-old cemetery that challenges everything you thought about our ancestors. At Tinshemet Cave in central Israel, researchers led by Yossi Zaidner discovered human remains placed carefully in pits in a fetal position, known as the burial pose. Alongside the skeletons lay objects with no obvious daily function: smooth basalt pebbles, animal bones, and striking fragments of red and orange ochre, a pigment created by heating iron-rich rock. Some of these items traveled hundreds of kilometers, suggesting early humans were gathering materials specifically for rituals to honor their dead. But here's where it gets controversial. We still don't know whether these ancient people were Homo sapiens, Neanderthals, or a hybrid of both. What is clear, however, is that they shared a cultural approach to death. Among the findings were 2 complete skeletons and 3 partial ones, isolated skulls with accompanying bones and teeth, plus over 500 pieces of ochre in various sizes. This amount of pigment shows they had not only artistic skill, but also a desire to decorate or symbolize their ceremonies. And this is the part most people miss. Tinshemet Cave offers more than a glimpse at ritual funerary behavior. When we compare it to other sites from the same period in the Levant, around 130,000 to 80,000 years ago, a pattern emerges: consistent stone tool technology, a growing focus on hunting large game, and socially elaborate actions such as intentional burials and the use of pigments. Some researchers point to Homo naledi, a species that lived between 335,000 and 245,000 years ago, with a brain 1/3 the size of ours. Lee Berger's team claims that naledi also carried out elaborate burials deep in South Africa's Rising Star cave system. Early reviews were skeptical. After all, how could a being with a 513 cubic centimeter brain conceive of death and ritual? Yet subsequent analyses convinced at least one reviewer, reigniting a fierce debate. Critics argue that no sign exists of naledi caring for the sick or revisiting burial chambers to mourn loved ones. Still, the very possibility pushes us to question whether intelligence always correlates with elaborate cultural practices. This controversy touches on a broader issue: how do we define humanity? In their book The Immortal Mind, Michael Egner and I explore cases of people living full lives despite severe brain damage. These stories remind us to be cautious about equating brain size or structure with the capacity for complex thought or spiritual practices. Perhaps Homo naledi and Neanderthals deserve richer interpretations of their inner lives. Now we turn the question to you. Do you believe early humans saw death as a transition worthy of elaborate ritual? Could small-brained hominins have held deep spiritual beliefs? Share your thoughts. Do you side with the skeptics? Or are you open to a radical rethink of our ancient cousins? The conversation is just beginning. World's oldest burial ground discovered in Israel. Imagine uncovering a secret that rewrites the history of human burial rituals. Archaeologists working at the Tinshemet Cave in Israel believe they have done just that, potentially discovering one of the world's oldest human burial sites. This groundbreaking find could revolutionize our understanding of ancient funerary practices and the complex social behaviors of our early ancestors, dating back an astonishing 100,000 years. This site is a treasure trove of both Neanderthal and Homo sapiens remains. The discovery of ritual grave goods buried alongside the skeletons adds a fascinating layer to our knowledge of ancient burial customs. But here's where it gets controversial. The presence of both Neanderthals and Homo sapiens in the same burial site suggests a level of interaction and possibly even cultural exchange between these two groups. The Tinshemet Cave, which has been under archaeological investigation for nearly a decade, has yielded at least 5 sets of hominin remains. These remains, which include both Homo sapiens and Neanderthal-like individuals, were all buried in a ritualistic manner and surrounded by over 500 grave goods. This discovery, detailed in a study published in Nature Human Behavior, is described as remarkable for its exceptional evidence of human morphological variability. The age of these burials is what makes them particularly intriguing. Dated to 100,000 years ago, the Homo remains were preserved in an environment rich with objects such as ash from ritual fires and acidic limestone. This makes Tinshimit Cave one of the oldest known burial sites, showcasing how different Homo behaviors converged in this location, resulting in elaborate burial rituals. The authors of the study suggest that this behavioral uniformity could be due to increased interactions between different Homo groups. This is an amazing revolutionary innovation for our species, says Yossi Zeidner, a director of the excavation and professor of archaeology at Hebrew University in Jerusalem. It's actually the first time we are starting to use this behavior. The cave's interior is described as one of the most important sites for studying human evolution and behavior during the Paleolithic period. The remains, including 2 full skeletons and 3 skulls, were placed in fetal burial positions amidst basalt pebbles, animal remains, and red and orange ochre pigment. These objects, some of which were brought from hundreds of miles away, are clear indicators of ritual design. Here we see a really complex set of behaviors, Zeidner explains, not related to just food and surviving. Even the concept of marking out burial sites was novel 100,000 years ago. It's a kind of claim you make to the neighbors, saying, "This is my territory. This part of the land belongs to my father and my forefather," says Israel Hershkovitz, a physical anthropologist at Tel Aviv University and co-director of the Tinshimit site. The Tinshimit group theorizes that as modern humans emerged in Africa and Neanderthals in Europe, these two groups met for the first time in the Levant during the Middle Paleolithic period. The region's mix of Neanderthals and Homo sapiens could have led to a hybrid population, though research into the cave's skeletal remains has so far been inconclusive. The cave has provided not only articulated human remains, but also flint tools and evidence of fire use, offering a unique glimpse into the social and behavioral complexity of the earliest funerary practices. Add to this what could be some of the first examples of jewelry and body painting, and our understanding of burials and society from 100,000 years ago is being transformed. And this is the part most people miss. The discovery at Tinshimit Cave challenges our traditional views of ancient human behavior. It suggests that our ancestors were capable of complex social rituals much earlier than previously thought. But what do you think? Does this discovery change your perspective on human evolution and ancient societies? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's discuss this fascinating find.